Cypher, hi. I'm the middle gay, good friend of Deb's. So you are saying that we are, as homosexuals, reducing people down to just their genitals. Well, it's not that. As homosexuals, we are attracted to the same sex, not same gender.
I'm gonna keep talking online, and I am gonna keep unifying my lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual community. Those that are part of my community, we will unify. We're just kicking out all the rest because we don't want them here.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about homosexual erasure that's happening right within the LGBT community, how the TikTok app has played a huge role in perpetuating this nonsense, and how myself and many others are fighting back because it feels like the 1990s again. Having to explain that being gay or lesbian isn't a preference, it's not a choice. But these trans radical people out there have rearranged what it means to be gay or lesbian, referring sometimes to it as a genital preference, while calling you a TERF or a bigot. Which, by the way, for those of you that still think that word TERF holds any meaning or power, it doesn't. You've used that up to just like you have everything else and applied it to everything you don't like instead of what it actually means definitionally. Again, this is a serious problem among trans activists, people who subscribe to queer theory, and some of the younger generation in general. I'll talk about a few of my theories behind why I think this is happening and show you some TikToks of some of my great friends over there on the app that are literally building a grassroots coalition, LGB and TS, and drop all the rest. So lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual, if you didn't know what the TS stood for. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the channel. I see a lot of you out there who are returning viewers, but you haven't yet subscribed. I say you might as well just get it over with. So TikTok, first of all, I find it to be one of the most anti-free speech apps out there, except of course, if you're pushing super hard leftist agendas. You'll see in some of these TikToks that my friends over there have to actually change the way they say things. For example, homosexuality, they have to say homosexuality without getting reported. And I'm not even kidding. Another one is slay man instead of gay man. I am not joking. These are the links they have to go to just to get a point across or to be able to speak freely. It's absolutely incredible and kind of insane. I've gone over on some of their lives before, and I really have to adjust the way I talk. So a couple of examples of my friend Deb. You have to go follow her over on TikTok if you haven't already. I'll put everybody's links in the description down below. But my friend Deb, one of the things that she wrote that was removed, she wrote, "It's not complicated at all. It's very simple. Same-sex attracted female lesbian, same-sex attracted male is a gay man." That was removed, and it violated their community standards over on TikTok. Another thing that she wrote, trying to get her point across about what a homosexual is. Sure, we can find the secondary sex characteristics attractive, but gay men don't want a peach and lesbian women don't want an eggplant. Homosexuality 101. People that are coming after her and being very, very hateful, very homophobic, their comments do not get removed, but everybody on this side of the table, this side of the aisle, that's saying, hey, this ideology is going too far, all of our stuff is being removed. So I find that very interesting. Another one that she got removed, lesbian is same-sex attracted. It's your content is against our community guidelines. Yeah, a lesbian is two females that are same-sex attracted. I just did a video on what is a lesbian. I mean, I don't understand how we could have fallen this far that now our own LGBT community is actually homophobic. And I believe I got a strike against me for this. So I wrote, "Disgusting how gays, lesbians are treated on this app for defending themselves and all they've worked for the last 6 decades. Stating the truth is against TikTok rules." That was removed from my TikTok for violating community guidelines. So let's take a look at my friend Rocky's TikToks first, and then we'll discuss in between and react.
You're disgusting. We have spent so many years to teach people that orientation is not a preference, that it is a requirement. In order to be heterosexual, you are attracted to the opposite sex. In order for you to be homosexual, you needed to be attracted to the same sex. And bisexual, you needed to be attracted to both. It is absolutely not a preference. It is an orientation, and you are setting us back, people like you. And to say that I am self-hating queer, you're right. You're right. Because I don't use that term. I'm a gay man. I've never been queer. That is a slur. And you are the reason why our approval ratings are going down. You and those like you.
You know, it's like insane that we've gone this far backwards with this. And I actually was talking to another individual who was trying to tell me that a requirement and a preference are essentially the same thing. That's how bad the reading comprehension is. That's how bad the vocabulary and the vernacular is with these people in this generation. I don't know what is going on here, but those words do not mean the same thing. So they just twist everything around, and it's unbelievable. I mean, can you believe this? This is what goes on over on this app.
Let's be clear. Not a bigot. I actually like to protect the LGB and TS community from those that mean us harm, those that are lowering our approval ratings, those that say that same-sex attraction is no longer homosexual, or saying that lesbians need to suck a princess wand. None of that is bigoted. Fighting those things is actually what we did. This is where we come from. That is where the LGB and TS started, making sure that people knew that orientation is not fluid and that males cannot be lesbians, regardless of how many times they think they can say that. And there's a growing number of the LGB and TS community. You're the ones that are going to be gone, buddy. Let's be.
Yeah, I mean, it really is this extremist community that has really started a lot of this. The whole sucking a princess wand thing, telling lesbians that they should suck a princess wand, as if that's any different than what male genitalia is. Like, I don't understand how they think this is attractive, or I mean, it's incredible. I'm shocked and appalled and astounded by how bad it is, guys. Like, it's so bad. Here's another one about the genital thing. They keep trying to act like that same-sex attraction, that we're reducing everybody to genitals. What the fuck?
Cypher, hi. I'm the middle gay, good friend of Deb's. So you are saying that we are, as homosexuals, reducing people down to just their genitals. Well, it's not that. As homosexuals, we are attracted to the same sex, not same gender. And isn't it you and the trans fakers that are leaving women up to stereotypes and what it means to be a woman? You are reducing it down to nail polish, long hair, and dresses. But when a homosexual is actually telling you, actually saying what it is, what it has been, same with heterosexual, opposite sex attracted. So stop. Just stop your silliness, because you're kind of ridiculous. Blessed be.
They don't even know how to define a woman. They don't know what a woman is. They think woman is the basis of femininity, and that's just not true. A woman is an adult human female. These people just live in this alternate universe, in this fantasy land where everything is subjective, nothing is absolute, postmodern worldview, and it's a very dangerous slippery slope. And gays and lesbians and bisexuals and transsexuals are now paying for it because the trans ideology is so off the hook. Let's take a look at a couple of Deb's TikToks. Deb is this awesome chick, the silenced lesbian over on TikTok. She is fantastic. We have been in communication a lot about some of the craziness going on. She's really, really great at what she does over there, and she's been getting really heavily involved in some projects that I think we might actually be talking about on this channel here pretty soon. I'm trying to get an interview with her. She is fabulous. Take a look at some of these.
Oh, I don't know what queer is. I don't have anything to do with queer. I am a homosexual woman who is exclusively same-sex attracted. So you ain't talking to me. That's not my community. I have nothing to do with that. That being said, as far as doing something productive, well, actually I am. I'm part of a group. Well, it's all grassroots. We're part of it's a coalition essentially of lesbian, gays, bisexual, and transsexual people that are fighting against this ideology. And really what we're doing is we're taking back our community, bringing back reality, letting people understand that there's a big difference between a same-sex attracted person and someone who's, let's say, I don't know, delusional perhaps. That being said, I'm gonna keep talking online, and I am gonna keep unifying my lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transsexual community. Those that are part of my community, we will unify. We're just kicking out all the rest because we don't want them here. No, that's not how that works. You just hate trans people. You are a lesbian, but also a TERF, because homosexual doesn't mean smex anymore. It means gender. To you. To you and your brain, but it doesn't change biological reality. The word homo derives from the Greek word homos, which means same. Therefore, when we talk about homosexuals, we're talking about same-sex attraction. Now, I don't understand where you guys believe that males and females can now suddenly appropriate homosexuality. I can then identify as a man, and the church will accept me again because, you know, I'm a heterosexual now. My wife, who was completely disowned by her family, will be accepted again because she's going to be married to a man now. I can't with y'all.
Like, it's just incredible to me, the moving of the goalposts and the changing of things and the moving of things and the twisting of things. It's such a manipulative group of people that have no idea how to communicate properly. So they've created this whole sub-universe, which is that they live in outside of everybody else, but they want everybody else to adapt to that way of life and that way of thinking, and it's just not going to happen that way. And during the gay rights movement, we wanted to assimilate into society. These people want us to assimilate to what they want, and they want to change society at large to be this weird shit. I didn't realize how sick and homophobic these individuals were, and I don't know that they understand how homophobic they sound. I mean, and these are the same people that are always right there to tell us that we're transphobic because a lesbian, for example, doesn't want to date a trans woman, or a gay man doesn't want to date a trans man. Well, can you stop for a second to think about why that might be? I mean, not everybody's interested in the same stuff. Not everybody's, attracted to the same things. It's almost like, and I've said this before, I think, me asking out a straight woman on a date and her rejecting me and me turning around and calling her homophobic. She's not homophobic. She just isn't interested like that in me because she's not attracted to that, because she's straight. She's heterosexual. But it is very homophobic when you tell lesbians that they should suck a princess wand, or you tell gay men that they need to date trans men, or else they're transphobic. The games that are being played in this community and how much that it's changed over time, it's not at all what it was. And so that's why people like Brocky and Deb are creating this new space for people to be separated from all of that. I don't know how these people live in the real world, right? I mean, they change the meaning of words on a dime. So it's like if you're driving along someplace and you see a stop sign, can that stop sign somehow mean go instead? I mean, I'm going to have a lot of car accidents if that's the way I interpret the English language, to just be changed when I feel like it. And they call this progress. And it's just an absolutely regression on all the progress that we already made in this community. And, one of the things that I'm going to conclude here is that sexual orientation isn't determined by other people's self ID. And that's where things are lost on this generation. They don't understand that self ID is literally just that. You've decided this is something you want to identify as, so you do, but you expect other people's sexual orientations to change or evolve around that said self ID. One of the theories that I have about all of this is that these kids can't read. These young people can't read. They don't know how to read. And I don't mean like, oh, they can't read, they're so dumb. No, literally, they weren't taught how to read properly, effectively, efficiently, with any kind of critical thinking. And I'm going to explain one of the things why I think that is. So there is this method of teaching called the unproven method. And it basically is like you guess words through pictures or visual clues. It's a way that reading has been taught in many states for quite a while. And I think they're actually rolling a lot of that back now. Instead of teaching the proven method, which is through phonics and definitions that a lot of us were taught that way to read.
The years, parents, grandparents, and teachers have reported hooked on phonics success stories. With intensive, systematic phonics, these children learned important skills used in reading. Surprisingly, many schools do not effectively teach intensive, systematic phonics. So if your child's struggling or starting out in reading, hooked on phonics may be an answer.
And we've watched these test scores fall pretty hard in this area over time. And I want to say that these young people, probably between the ages of 15 and maybe 25, are really the most affected by this method. And it shows. And I've come to the conclusion that this generation, like I said, they just cannot read. They quite literally cannot read. They don't have proper understanding of critical thinking. They don't understand what definitions are. And when you couple that with this postmodern view that nothing's absolute and that everything's interchangeable and words don't have meaning, and then you call it progressive, we have a problem. It is not progress. It is a regression. And plus the amount of screen time that these people have gotten with no experience in the world, not having a computer tell them how to think and how to feel. That's another layered, compounded issue that's happening. And they don't understand how to communicate properly. And we all know that solid reading comprehension skills lead to better communication among people. And that also leads to better relationships with people. And we also see this generation suffering greatly with trying to have real connections and relationships with other human beings. And we only get responses on this side that are angry, put downs, constant name calling, bullying, harassment, even threats that we've gotten. They don't understand what a conversation even is, I don't think. So that's really what I think is going on. And I mean, it's not the only thing that's going on. It's not just the reading. It's obviously the screen time. It's the fact that a lot of these kids just grew up on the internet. Like, let's face it. But the bottom line is we can't allow this to continue to go on. We can't allow them to be driving that bus. The lesbians need to drive the lesbian bus. The gay men need to drive the gay man bus. Transsexuals need to drive the transsexual bus. A lot of them need love or something like, but I don't think they understand what love is either. And again, it's because of language and lack of language skills and lack of reading comprehension skills that has helped lead to this or make the problem bigger than it had to be. Guys, tell me what you think below in the comments about my theory about this being about the fact that they can't read and they don't understand. They quite literally don't understand. And how much of this do you think is homophobia? Because some of these things that I'm seeing out there, they sound very homophobic. Many of these people are very, very confused. And you know what? I'd be confused too with all these terminologies and all these changing of definitions constantly. I cannot imagine growing up in this shit. I really can't. I mean, it's just awful. It's a nightmare. It's really frightening and it's very frustrating. It's infuriating. And my friends over on TikTok, they do get discouraged from time to time because the level of homophobia and the influx of the horrible comments that they've received from these people, and it's allowed, and they stay up, and nothing is done about it. So I really feel like that there is some kind of crazy, nefarious agenda going on here. So, guys, let me know down below in the comments what you think about all of this, what you think about my theory with some of this stuff. And let me know, too, is it just homophobia? Is there something else going on here? What do you think? I'll catch you guys in the next one.